Protect your DNA. BioPQQ can promote formation of new mitochondria. Infowarsstore.com.
Millie Weaver reporting for Infowars.com. We are here at South by San Jose in Austin, Texas, where a benefit is being held. Now, this is called the Hands Off Our Rights Benefit, being hosted by people like Planned Parenthood. And what they're doing is they're trying to raise money to spread awareness about women's rights and women's health care. So I'm going to be asking some of these people here what their opinion on Planned Parenthood is, given that they offer abortions and they don't actually offer maternity care, even though they've made claims before in the past that they have. Those claims have been debunked. So I'm going to go ahead and talk to some of these people here and see what their thoughts are. What brings you out here today?
Oh, just looking around, you know, seeing South by Southwest.
What do you think about this event that Planned Parenthood and the Women's Health Organization is holding?
I'm definitely pro-women's health for sure, and Planned Parenthood as well. So, pro-choice.
I fully support Planned Parenthood. Anybody who doesn't support it's an idiot. I'm sorry, was that my outside voice? Healthcare for women who need it, when they need it, where they need it, whatever kind of healthcare they need. It's not political, it's medical.
I think that what they stand for is awesome. They help women just get empowered. We have these rights, and I think that what they offer for us is just awesome. Even just for health purposes in general, just to go to them and know that they are a resource.
I do support Planned Parenthood, so.
That's fantastic. Definitely in support of both, of all the organizations, yes.
I'm glad that they're working to try to get women's health care. And I realize not everybody agrees with abortion, but that's not all that they provide. They do health screenings, for example. They provide contraception. They're very, very worthwhile organizations.
I think it's really important that women who have trouble getting access to health care are able to get access to it, especially women, you know, who they don't have a lot of options for clinics or they don't have the funds. So I think they're a really important organization.
So what do you think about Planned Parenthood? Do you think that they should be forced to also offer maternity care if they're going to offer abortions?
I've never really thought about that, but I think that's a great idea that if they're going to offer kind of one side of things, that they should also offer the other side for balance.
I think that Planned Parenthood, I think they're all about women in general, so I think helping people who do have babies afterwards would be a great idea for them.
Here's something I didn't know a couple years ago. I didn't know that if you wanted to keep your baby, but you were also, you know, financially strapped, that you couldn't actually go into Planned Parenthood and get any maternity services. Like, they don't really offer anything for women other than abortions once they're pregnant. What do you think about that?
Honestly, I wasn't aware of that, but I think maybe in the future that would be something that they would look into.
Women's rights.
Do you think that, you know, maybe Planned Parenthood should also offer maternity services, like after a woman decides to keep the baby?
That's a really good question. I haven't really thought about it. Anything that benefits women and children is positive, so yes.
I think that if they're set up to do that, for sure.
Do you think that, you know, Planned Parenthood should be forced to offer maternity care too if they're going to offer abortions?
No, but I think all of the anti-abortion people who scream so loudly about the precious babies should adopt all those babies.
I feel like it's kind of leaving them in the dark if they only provide Planned Parenthood, that they don't provide maternity care and anything up to it. I think it should be a whole system as opposed to just one step.
Did you know that they don't actually offer any maternity services? So if a woman were to keep her baby, they can't really do anything for them?
Y'all are a bullshit website. I really don't want to talk to you. Thank you.
But that is true. That is a fact.
No,
it is true. I didn't know this actually when I was younger. I didn't know. And if you actually go to them and say, hey, you know, can I get any maternity service? I'm strapped for money. You know, they really can't do anything for you.
I don't want to talk to y'all.
Do you think that, you know, the legal gestational limit right now at 24 weeks, do you think that's a little bit too much? Like, don't you think that if somebody was going to make a decision, it should be sooner?
Yes, I definitely believe that you should do it sooner. 24 weeks is, I think, pushing it, but I still think that you should have the option, yes.
I mean, because have you ever had a baby or been pregnant?
No.
Have you ever seen any of the ultrasounds or any babies that were actually born early, premature at 24 weeks?
Yeah.
They look like
They look like little babies. That's why I think, like, yeah, sooner better, yes, but I think there should still be an option, but just maybe push up, like, when you can make a decision by would be a better idea, definitely.
It's like anything else. Some will abuse it, most won't, so leave it alone. It's none of your business. It's a woman's business, her and her doctors.
What do you think about some of the claims out there that Planned Parenthood disproportionately targets African Americans and minorities to receive abortions?
I don't think I'm educated enough on the topic to comment on that. Yeah.
And if it in fact was true, so what? Maybe that's where the people who have the most need live. I'm a cranky old guy.
You don't think that's racist at all to be targeting their communities?
I would think they are targeting poverty and lack of finances and opportunity more than anything else. You'll never put this on the air.
Did you know that the woman who founded Planned Parenthood, Margaret Sanger, was an outspoken racist? And what do you think about that? She actually was an outspoken racist against black people and was trying to put these abortion clinics in black neighborhoods. What do you think about that?
I mean, that sucks. It really does. I mean, I hope I never meet her.
President of America's Planned Parenthood Federation maintains that European women should stop having babies for the next 10 years.
Well, I think the greatest sin in the world is bringing children into the world. Delinquents, prisoners, all sorts of things just marked when they're born. That, to me, is the greatest sin.
And one of the reasons that you find most of their clinics in black neighborhoods is so that you can find a way to control that population. And I think people should go back and read about Margaret Sanger, who founded this place.
A staunch advocate of eugenics, the so-called science of purifying the human gene pool, Sanger viewed certain races, especially blacks, as genetically inferior and inclined towards producing human weeds. Reckless breeders spawning human beings who never should have been born. A profoundly disproportionate number of abortion clinics were placed near the inner cities. And since then, an equally disproportionate number of our African American population, more than 15 million, has been weeded out by abortion.
The history of a lot of government institutions, a lot of establishments, a lot of authoritarian figures in particular, there is a rich history of disproportionately targeting black communities. And that's part of the reason why I have something of a disinterest towards it, just because I'm all for representing the community, my race, my causes, things of that nature. It's not about being a man or being a woman. You know, I'm all for equal rights and that kind of thing. I just think that, I just wish there was more of a racial representation.
It's a really difficult topic, isn't it?
It really is. I mean, that's why I don't speak on it much, because I know very little about it. And I think that's part of the problem with this nation, is that we say a lot of things as a nation that we don't know much about. And I think that's where the misinformation comes from.
I'm perfectly happy to talk to rational people, but Infowars promotes conspiracy theories and stuff that I just don't think is worth wasting my time trying to convince your viewers of.
A popular conspiracy theory talk show called Infowars. The host of the show is a man named Alex Jones.
Some jerk named Alex Jones, the far-right conspiracy theorist who is apparently taking on a new role as occasional information source and validator for Trump.
Where are you getting this information?
From a very reputable source.
What, the FBI, the CIA?
Infowars. It's a radio show hosted by Alex Jones.
But everything I've said right now is fact and it's rational, and I'm talking to you in a very rational way. So there's nothing I've said that's been irrational for you to act this way.
The logo here, the stuff that you put on your site, I've looked at it and I am informed, and you're absolutely right. Nothing you've said that I know of is incorrect. I'm not aware of maternity services or not, but the degree to which this website promotes conspiracy theories, the degree to which it traffics in sort of flights of fancy that doesn't stick to the facts, I'm not comfortable talking to y'all.
So I understand that this, you've been emotionally upset by this logo, okay, and I understand that, and you may have your own preconceived notions about us, but I'm just trying to have a reasonable conversation with you to understand your perspective. So don't you think that the people watching Infowars want to hear an honest perspective from you and not you just getting triggered and refusing to have dialogue?
I'm not triggered. And I'm happy to talk to you, but I'd prefer not to be recorded.
Planned Parenthood likes to say that they support a woman's right to choose, but they only actually help women with one of the choices that they could make. They only help women to have an abortion. They don't offer maternity services for the women that choose to keep their babies. So Planned Parenthood, if you're really pro-choice, why don't you support both choices a woman can make when it comes to her pregnancy?
Wow.